The official figures are out for the attendance of theme parks all across the world. Each year a company called AECOM releases a report called the Theme Index, which serves as an industry guide for the global leisure sector. And in this report it reveals the attendance of theme parks all across the world. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the top parks for last year, what makes them so popular, and also having a look at how the past few years have made an impact. But before we get on into it, if you do enjoy watching this video then please hit that like button to let me know, and if you are new around here then please consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing, because we make plenty of theme park and adventure videos here which you don't want to miss. Now, it's more than likely going to be no surprise to you that the top of this list is dominated by the Disney parks. In fact, 7 out of the top 10 parks in terms of attendance are owned by Disney. A park which remains at the top consistently each and every year is Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. Magic Kingdom had an incredible 17.1 million visitors in 2022. Which is a 36% increase compared to 2021. Now, Magic Kingdom is always at the top of this list for obvious reasons. Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World is a top holiday destination, and as well as that, it's every kid's dream to go to Walt Disney World and meet all their favourite Disney characters. But not just that, because adults like myself love visiting Disney World and Magic Kingdom, not just for the nostalgia, but they also have some incredible world-leading rides and attractions. It's truly one of the most magical places on Earth, created and maintained by the fantastic engineers. Honestly, it's no surprise that it's always at the top. But having said that, the past few years has been a struggle for the park, just like with every other park across the world. Pre-pandemic Magic Kingdom attendance was around 21 million guests each year, but during the pandemic it dropped to only 7 million guests, which is still a lot, but it's definitely a big decrease compared to what they were used to. But since then it's been a slow climb back to the top, and they're not quite there yet where they were pre-pandemic, but they are getting there. In terms of growth, the second Disney park on the list, which is the original Disneyland in California, has grown a massive 97% compared to 2021, almost matching Magic Kingdom at 16.8 million visitors. So Disneyland have almost doubled their attendance in just 1 year. So why could this be? Well, pretty much the same reasons as Magic Kingdom. It's a very similar park, a similar layout, some rides are almost identical, so it would make sense that both parks follow closely in terms of attendance. As well as this, Disneyland actually has more attractions than Magic Kingdom, which is really strange to think because Disneyland is 85 acres, whereas Magic Kingdom is 107 acres. Now, I personally have never been to Disneyland before. It's definitely at the top of my bucket list, and I'm sure if you've never been, it'll be at the top of your bucket list too. But it is very interesting to see just how close Disneyland and Magic Kingdom are in terms of attendance. So if you have been to both, then let me know down in the comments which one you prefer. Okay, so now let's move away from the Disney parks and let's talk about number 5 on this list, because this one has jumped from number 12 to the number 5 spot, and it's increased by 21% compared to last year. And it's no surprise at all. Universal's Islands of Adventure is at number 5 on this list, and this will be due to how much this park gives. They have the fantastic Wizarding World of Harry Potter, incredibly themed areas, and of course the new Velocicoaster. There's so many different factors which make this one of the best theme parks in the world, and it just gets better and better each year. I honestly think that if Islands of Adventure carry on in this way, it could easily make the top 3 within the next few years. As well as that, Universal Studios, which is next door to Islands of Adventure, has Halloween Horror Nights as well as other incredible events that people from all over the world travel to just to experience. Speaking from personal experience, when you buy tickets to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, they usually come as part of a package, so it's no real surprise that both parks have similar attendance figures. And that is the case for 2022, because the attendance for Islands of Adventure was 11 million guests, and Universal Studios was 10.7 million guests. What I find really interesting is that Islands of Adventure has now surpassed some of the Disney parks, including Hollywood Studios, even with the addition of their very popular Galaxy's Edge. But having said that, Hollywood Studios still had an attendance of 10.9 million guests, so it's not too far off. So here's a look at the list. It's worth noting that the ranking is for 2019, but if you look at the 2022 attendance column, that will show you whereabouts each park sits in the top 12. It's crazy to think just how much of an impact COVID had on the previous years. Some parks' attendance was less than a third of last year's attendance, so you can only imagine how difficult it must have been for the parks to keep going. But it's great to see that they're back on the rise again, and almost back to pre-pandemic levels. Now excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, but there has been a massive impact on Chimelong Ocean Kingdom in China. Now I'm not too familiar with this park, and the reasonings behind its massive decline in attendance, but I believe that this is still due to the effects of COVID. However, so far in 2023, theme parks in China have seen a significant improvement in attendance, so hopefully this is the beginning of a rise for all those parks. But yeah, looking at 2022's figures, attendance is less than half of pre-pandemic levels. So now let's take a look at the next 13 parks on the list. Again, a massive decrease in attendance for the China parks, but what is brilliant to see is the growth of Disneyland Paris. Both of their parks have increased by over 180% compared to previous years and have actually exceeded pre-pandemic levels. Now this will likely be due to the 30th anniversary celebrations at the park, as well as all the new areas such as Avengers Campus, which is already open, and the World of Frozen, which will be coming in the next few years. It's also great to see Efteling in the Netherlands bounce back. They're up 65% compared to last year, and Europa Park too, which has doubled in attendance and also exceeded 2019. So overall, a massive increase of 42% compared to 2021 for those top parks, which is really great to see. They're bouncing back after the extremely tough years that we've all faced, and it's great to see that they're coming back better than ever before. Now I know a lot of my subscribers are here in the UK, we cover a lot of UK parks here on the channel, so I will talk a little bit about the UK park figures, but it's a little bit difficult because Merlin haven't yet released the figures for 2022, and if you don't know, Merlin Entertainment, they own some of the top theme parks here in the UK, such as Alton Towers, Chessington World of Adventures, Legoland Windsor and Thorpe Park. So it's a little bit difficult to predict what the 2022 figures were like without them being released, but looking back on previous years, it does tend to vary depending on what's happening at each of the parks. In 2019, it was a huge year for Legoland Windsor, with 2.4 million guests, but then in 2021, it dropped to 1.5 million, and Alton Towers took the top spot with 1.8 million. So although I don't know what the 2022 attendance figures for UK theme parks are as of yet, as a rough guess I would probably say that Alton Towers is at the top, followed by maybe Thorpe Park, then Legoland Windsor, and then Chessington World of Adventures. But having said that, for the 2023 figures, I think that Chessington World of Adventures may take the top spot, or maybe the second spot, due to the opening of the world of Jumanji. So there we have it, some of the top attendance figures for theme parks all across the world in 2022. Did any surprise you? Let me know in the comments. We'll be visiting a bunch of theme parks mentioned in this video very soon here on the channel, so make sure to stay tuned for all those videos. But until then, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.